All right, my fob. Made it to another Monday. Please keep making it to another Monday. Please keep making it to another Monday. I know there's a lot going on my own side. And if you've got pride in service and you still have that thing that connects you to your service in a way that it means something to you, that it reminds you when you are at your best, in a way that bolsters you. For me, it's my Marine Corps ring. I've got that, I wear it, and I keep it on as much as I can, because why not? It helps me, oddly. And I'm not upset about that. But I have a wedding ring that pretty sure I paid for, just like I paid for my engagement ring. I'm away from the ex, thank God, but he ruined something good, and he tried to. But I went to the Comic-Con locally with my sister, and I mean, she's my heart sister, but they had very, very similar rings, but instead of tungsten and laser cut gold or whatever for the inside of the band, it was a black metal with a black cutout, but this sparkly blue underneath. So to me, that reads tactical and not attention grabby. And I made it my I'm off duty ring, because face it, when you get out, you are your own CO, and until you make that connection, you're looking for direction that you don't need help to find, because you're allowed to be in charge now. You get to make and set boundaries. You get to decide your perimeter. And those overbearing personalities, whether they mean to be or not, God rest them, they're pushy. And if you love them, it's difficult at times. There's always that one person you cave to. For me, it's several, and I'm working on it. But so I've got this it's not marine, but it's a ring, and I've got a similar ring, but it's the gold cutouts. So that's my on-duty ring, and I'm going to get two more. So I've got the full gamut of tactical and to remind myself when I have to be seen, because I've got huge anxiety and trust and safety issues, and I have to trick my brain to behave, and it's become even more important since my recent weakness. And I know we all go through health changes, but that's one of the things I'm talking about, is my body will literally quit now. I don't need a pacemaker. But I tried to be a civilian for my mum's sake, and it failed spectacularly. My advice, if you're military, especially if you're the oorah gung-ho, I don't care if you're a Green Beret, I mean, bless you if you're a Green Beret. Those guys are shit. But, yeah, no. If you have something that works for you, please, God, keep using it. Stay awake, stay up, stay hopeful. Even just one more D, one more hour. If it's a little tip or a trick that bolsters you, it ain't stupid if it works. It's stupid if you're not even willing to try. You've got to be willing to try, all right? I'm a day behind because I'm at my mum's again. And I don't want my recordings to be coloured by my anxiety with her. Bless her. She means well. But she's a very strong-headed woman. And with my dad gone, she and I are learning how to tiptoe around each other a bit more. But she still makes me heart freak out. And I'm trying not to show that because that would hurt her. But if you have someone in your life who you feel like you put an inordinate amount of purpose onto them, an inordinate amount of meaning and sentiment, and that it would just gut you or break you, or you're literally physically afraid of it. And she's never been violent at, I mean, hell, as a child, it looked violent as fuck. She would throw things at Dad in frustration and anger, and you can hear the nuances as a kid that people don't want to realize you're actually human. People don't want to realize children are intelligent, and more's the pity for it. But when I brought her to task about it, because it's one of the things I fear, is that I know whom I can't fight back against. So if you've got people like that, it's no wonder your anxiety goes high. She says she threw it near him. It's like, no, as a kid from behind the couch, because we would, sneak peeks to figure out what was going on. She would throw and he was catch. Ergo, whatever she was throwing at him that we saw flying was close enough for him to catch. God rest him. So he was always afraid that anger meant physical violence. And it's why I am still, if I don't have my Marine hat on, if I don't have my active duty mission on, I am afraid of people's emotions. Because I've seen the lack of self-control my whole life. My dad had too much, my mum had too little, and it is a thing she wants to try to work on. But she does know her own failings, and I'm telling you, people say people can change, but until you see it for yourself and the ones you know don't change. But her frustration now simmers instead of blows up, and her patience has doubled at least. Conversations she and I never would have been able to have when I was younger because her patience was so small. We've been able to have lately. My dad had gotten Mum into archery, which is another reason at the beginning when I was giving offerings of what you can do that actually helps. Archery, nature, the slow life. I'm not asking you not to be what you are. I've heard tells of those bits of hard-won peace. I just ask you to remember what you consider worth fighting for. I could never hold boundaries for myself, and that's another reason I got the rings, as a physical reminder that if need be, I can point it out to someone to say, hey, I'm off duty, or I'm on duty, or this is a formal ceremony or tactical shit. And I mean, it's already helped me feel less guilt for being human. Because when my mom gets mad at me for always referencing being Marine for reasons of doing things, even though it's reminding me not to be weak, even though it's reminding myself to just get on with the grind, do what needs doing, because it's just a thing, she gets mad. She gets mad and frustrated and angered. But it helps me and it's part of me. I chose that. That was my coming of age. And I hate saying goodbye to any who felt that way. It's different if it's age or illness, but please, don't pull the trigger. Don't bust out that gun. Don't bring out the blade. I mean, bring it to hone it. Take care of your shit. I have a hard time with firearms because I want to clean it to white glove inspection after every magazine use. And that's just not tactical in a battlefield. And I do know the difference, but it's a little tick in the back of my head. To be fair, to be honest, I have the trained mindset of a warfighter. I've never been sent forward because my physical issues started almost immediately in service, which sucked. But I lasted 3 years until I realized that it's not getting better. There's no healing from this, and I'm taking a warfighter's position, asking them to start the medical separation, even when the LT at the BAS had been helping me, bless her, and bless the ones that came before and around. But my body wasn't getting better. The meds weren't helping. I still couldn't sleep. And that's only half caused by the pain. But I couldn't keep letting myself fight to be active duty when I wasn't getting better. I was taking someone's position, and I was starting to lack honor. And that's what I can't stand is choosing selfishly. Not only because it never works out in my life, but I don't want to be selfish. It doesn't make me feel right. I don't like it. There's the cheeky selfishness. That's not selfishness. It's camaraderie. It's play. It's whatevermanship of just hanging out, being together, stealing the last cookie because you know you're going to get more. Those tiny little bragging rights that are victories that are just relationship building. If you have civilians around you who read military type camaraderie as the rudest thing in existence, please, for your own health, realize they will simply never understand you, and it will continue to be angering or frustrating or emotionally rising to them. And they'll get emotional, and the outpouring of frustration can be whatever it looks like from them. But don't stop being you. Don't let them erase you. Don't erase yourself out of too much kindness for their sake. Weaponized empathy isn't just for taking over a country, it's for erasing you as an autonomous being, as a person that God gave free will. I don't care if you call him the creator, the big man upstairs, the boss. I don't care. God made you. Please don't end his work on you by dying too soon. Don't let the enemy convince you to check out. I mean, I had a fellow proposition me, entirely for my own benefit, of course. And then I didn't hear from him for a while because I told him I'm just not that kind of girl, and I'm overly polite almost by design because I've had to mitigate everyone else's emotions and manage them better than they can manage because I'm used to those who cannot control themselves. I never realized how tiring it was until I started setting boundaries for myself, that managing people's emotions is not carrying a torch. It's letting them remain immature because you're the responsible one. You're the one in control of yourself, and you can only hope to inspire them to be better. But they have to want to be better. If they won't want it bad enough, if it's not worth it to them, they just won't do it. They just won't. They'll make all sorts of excuses, but they'll never even really try. My mum, bless her, she's tried saying that she can't control herself, that she knows she can't. Now that's defeatism, because I have seen her stop herself. Usually it's she's overly frustrated. She knows that it will get her version of bad, and so she shuts down the convo. It's not the responsible thing to do, per se, if you want closure, understanding, to get to the end of the problem so you can fix it. But she was triaging her own way, that she didn't want to rend the relationship. She still does not realize she's overbearing. She still does not realize she is so strong and aggressively assertive, and assertive in general, that it's difficult for those of us who just want our people happy. And my own modus sabotages me because it's always was, if you're not being immoral, illegal, unethical, if you're not being a bully, it's not my job to bring you to task. If you're not hurting anyone but me, and that was the caveat. So don't be like me. Don't let people drive you to thinking the only ending is permanent, to thinking the only way out of a situation is death. That fellow I briefly spoke of who propositioned me, he used a whole lot of gaslighting. He used a whole lot of manipulation tactics, whether he meant to or not. And he totally meant to get what he wanted, which didn't happen, thank God. But after a few months of not hearing from him, he reaches out, wants to meet, wants to talk, and said he felt like shite. Like he said he literally felt like shite, like crap, like whatever translates into the worst person in existence. And he wanted to talk. Now, I never got what about or anything. But rather than face that situation, when another life event happened before he and I could meet up, because it was going to be a public place and it was not going to be where he wanted to be, because where he wanted was dim and quiet and private and intimate settings. And that's no, I am not. There are some of us who are dunces in the field of anything but duty, and that's me. I'm sorry, I'm a dunce. And it's easy to get taken advantage of when you're a dunce. But I chose somewhere with loads of light that was tiny, which meant I could get out quick, and a very small window to meet. But then he chose to off himself. Or that's the way it seems. But whatever he did was so unwise that it ended in his death. And there's the tragic accident, but this man knew what he was doing. He was not an idiot. He was stupid. He was not an idiot. And to verify, idiots are those just, you want to wrap them in bubble wrap because you don't know how they made it past 5 years old. Stupid are the ones that are egotistically, selfishly unsafe. Stupid gets people dead. Whether it's just because they're not thinking or what. But I had never wanted to see him again. I didn't want him around my children because I don't want them under that sort of influence. But I never wished him dead. But there's the rub. You can't improve if you're dead. You've already gone to judgment, no matter what that looks like for you. So I'm asking you, begging and pleading. Don't be like the kid I knew from my childhood. He was only 2 years younger. But don't be like the kid from my childhood who decided a way out was better than facing himself. That ending the equation before the solution was a better solution. This is not math on a page you get to come back with. This is not some respawn. I hesitate to say I'm special, but I've died twice alone and God kept me living. I'm not trying to say I'm Lazarus, but if God wants you dead, you will die. And I hate saying that so soon after saying the other. But God can let death happen. He gives us free will. He will let us choose. I choose to continue as long as God gives me. And if he kills me with a gnat in the next 5 seconds, I won't get to upload this. But seriously, put down the gun, put down the weapon, put down the shelf, put down whatever one that you know you shouldn't be doing, because honestly, there's the military stupid of we know how to avoid the death kind of stupid, but it's still technically unwise because you don't have a spotter. I don't have a spotter at home, but I do know angles. So when shutting up from telling on myself, but I lived through it. I didn't fall. things got put away, and I probably should not lean the ladder like that again. But it worked. I lived through it, and it was one of those ladders that are built to lean against something. But I was very careful, and I even fessed up about it after the fact because I didn't want to fess up about it before because I know a few combat medics who might sit on me. And if you need a combat medic to sit on you, by God, find a combat medic. There's plenty of docs and Joes and Jims out there who are willing to call the stupid because that's why they joined. They joined to call the stupid, tell us to get new socks, and hand us a Motrin. Motrin does shite for me, but at least it wasn't Pedialyte. Pedialyte was weird syrup. I'll take powdered Gatorade over that shite. Seriously. Be all right. Please. I know this one's a long one. I'm not trying to use this as my diary. I'm trying to use anything in my life that can be a real example of why to push on. If you have advice, feel free to shove it into this thing. I will not complain, and I'll likely even cite you. But please, for the love of all that's holy, don't take the exit. Find something that reminds you you're your own CO. You earned being an adult. I don't care if you got medically separated at 19. Okay? I got medically separated after 3 years of service, not even ever going anywhere because my joints decided to be fucked. They didn't find the initial cause until 6 years after boot camp, which was 3 years too late to get back in. And my baseline is so far below. I managed one Marine Corps push-up yesterday. Sometimes I can do 8 push-ups. Yesterday I only managed 3 before I had the knives in my spine start warning me. If I'd pushed, I'd have collapsed and gone down because it is in the spine. It is in the vertebrae. And I never got shot. I never was in an accident. But the main cause was stress fractures in boot camp. Were I a man, I would find it emasculating. As a woman, I just find it annoying as fuck on my best days. It's annoying as hell. But everything still works, so you've got to make your mind stronger than your body. Because if your mind is the strongest thing about you, you can take anyone down who tries to harm you. You just need time. Even just a glance of warning. Be your own battle buddy tonight. Don't go out drinking without a plan to hydrate. Don't go to work without a plan to decompress. Music is not a sin, all right? Eating is not a sin. Taking care of the machine that is your body is not a failure to comply. Okay? Yeah, if you had a battle buddy and you were somewhere like forward and you needed to eat and it's half eat and half don't so that half can cover, and then you switch. Be your own battle buddy. Don't eat with both hands. Eat with one. Even if it slows you, it's actually better for digestion. You are your highest asset. You are your highest value tool. You are the one thing you cannot replace. So I beg you to listen and give yourself grace. Please, for the love of heaven. I've not had the energy because of things that have happened in the last 12 months. I've not had the energy, probably 18 months, to do the songs like I was, to do some of the originals like I was, to keep my promise yet to my kids about the Shanty playlist, which is going to go into Heritage, because on the kids whatever channel, I can make the Shanty list. I can make the countries list. I can make the song and the prose lists. I can do that. What I can't do is replace you in this world. I am only one person. If you need to hear someone needing you, when it's me, I call it being selfish, because I have, if I'm the one needing, it means I'm not good enough, because God says He gives us the tools we need, which means I need to do all in my power to lessen the burden on another if I find myself wanting in a thing. That's an unhealthy way to think. I beg you, don't be like me. Be better. Be better able and willing to delegate. Know your own value on this spectrum. You've been trained. You have the knowledge. But if you're your own battle bud, you're your own best asset. And your demons are your own worst enemies. Don't let them win. Beat them for spite. Beat them for the hell of it. Keep living. Try. If you're feeling too tired to carry on, go take a nap. I feel like a baby how I have to take care of myself now. It's not diagnosed yet, but it's going to have to be, and it's going to have to be on a bloody medical bracelet. I'm going to hate it until I can just accept it as a thing, because it is a thing. It's a thing to work around. But vasovagal syncope is the closest I can get to what's wrong with me now. And it's from the stress of managing everyone else, managing myself to such an extent that my nervous system has to tell me when to quit. Not my brain, not my conscious waking mind, not my intent. But I fainted after standing up to my mother about a thing, after standing up to another guy 3 times, and after standing up to my mum twice. I have a hard time standing up for myself without feeling selfish or rude or greedy or ungrateful. And I had to stand up for myself 5 times in 3 hours, and I'd forgotten to eat. And it was the heat of summer, it was the height of summer, and we were working outside. Even in the shade, there was not much of a breeze. There was enough, but not much. And I'd not eaten yet because I'd gone over to help my mum, and I'd woken late and I'd needed the rest, but I went over. And between waking and fainting, I stood up in high stakes, sentimental things for myself where I was the only one gaining anything, if I gained at all. My body decided to faint. I didn't get to choose. I went down twice in 5 minutes. And the tactical failure of that, I don't have a battle buddy. My dad's gone, heart attack took him. My brother's gone, a gun ring took him. My uncle's gone, health took him. I'm the last living service member of my father's line. I'm the last one in the family who thinks like me. The ones who taught me are gone. I know what that feels like. The ones who get closest are my baby brother and my baby heart sister, because she's not related, but she might as well be. By God in heaven, if someone says you're worshipping honor, don't fucking listen. Don't fucking listen. I had a church sister that I had to recategorize in my mind. Bless her, she means well. And it's never going to be a resolved thing, because to her it's already taken care of. It's already resolved. She's, no. She doesn't know what she truly accused me of or how much it impacted me, because I had to treat it serious because it was data. Because if I look like I don't worship God, I'm the one doing it wrong. But she only listened to my words without watching what I do. And I destroyed parts of my life that helped me. But I destroyed parts of my life because God says if you lead someone to sin, if you lead someone to doubt God, if you lead someone away, that you're the one in the wrong. So I had to treat it serious, and I destroyed some of the things that helped keep me sane so I don't risk another's salvation. But I also had to recategorize her, because when she said she wanted to meet and apologize, and I met and she apologized, it was not at all for that. And I have to recognize it as trauma, but that thing she caused, I spent a week examining my life, and I'm still examining, but I spent a week hardcore examining my life and just ripping bits of it to shreds because I know what it can look like by the misunderstanding outside. And I still have to recover from that. So I'm asking you, begging and pleading, don't destroy your life for one person's perception of it. Don't make my mistake, even made in good faith, even though I'll not try to fix it because of what it would look like. And I'll adjust, I'll learn to adjust. But I can't put the same emotional weight to what she says anymore, because it will destroy me, because her walk with God is so different from mine. So there's things that will never get resolved, and I ask you, I beg you, I plead, please, please don't destroy your life just because someone who means something to you says a thing. Please, please, if anyone has to mean something to you, let it be those who build you up continually, not those who don't realize they strike you down, or realize they strike you down but apologize for the wrong thing because they just don't understand. They can't. They don't have the blueprints to how the mind works of those who join the military voluntarily for the service. Yeah, the GI Bill's great and nice and all, and I did use it trying to be more employable. And then my body decided it had other plans. So I'm still not currently getting a degree, and I might have to go to the VA and say, hey, this thing changed, and I cannot work for civilians because it nearly killed me, on top of everything else. Bless them, they didn't mean to. It was just, I couldn't secure my space. I couldn't keep proper notes because I couldn't secure my space. But they were so kind, and they really tried to help, and I was working with a couple of veterans who knew the mindset. But the circumstances worked against, and I was getting worse, not keeping a baseline. So if there's something that's getting you worse, if you can at all, drop it. Be your own CO. Give yourself the pep talk. Give yourself the permission to make the healthy for you choice. You can't help anyone if you're falling apart at the seams trying not to die from the anxiety spike in your heart rate. We don't get to choose our physiological response. Even when we train and condition ourselves to certain things, something will still surprise us. My heart giving out, my body trying not to breathe while I'm asleep. So now I'm even more paranoid about sleep. I'm alone. I'm used to being alone. I'm used to being on the outskirts, keeping watch, keeping safe, keeping exits available for those who need it. I'm not used to my body wanting to give out. in such a way that it would be death and not falling out of formation. Please, I beg of you, be better than me. I know this is a long one. If you've listened this long, please, God, know that you matter. And I'm truly not trying to turn this into something about me. I'm trying to give you everything I have in hopes that something will help. I still intend to get back on the music because it helps me as much as I hope it helps others. I still intend to get my original things out because it holds the lessons I hope God allows to continue in life. Please don't pull that trigger. Don't use that knife. Put the bullet in your pocket if you must. It's all right. You're not failing by withholding final judgment. You're not failing by giving yourself grace. You're not failing by getting a cup of tea. Go get a cup of damn tea, dang it. Go get coffee. Go get war brew. Hell, you know what? I will post what AI thinks of my war brew. It called it jet fuel laced with battery acid. And my dad wouldn't even drink it. He would sometimes, but this man would eat instant in the desert when deployed. And he wouldn't touch my brew voluntarily on purpose most of the time. So when I say it's war brew, when it's wartime caffeine, I'm taking the inspiration of a Cav Scout trained in the Nam era down to Italy Piddly Marine Corps me, and when I needed to keep my brain functional, when on average I'm sleeping less than 4 hours a night, if I sleep. Other nights I'll manage 8 or 12, but that's on top of the 48 hours no sleep. It's usually how it goes if I get more than 4 hours. Or I get my 4 hours of sleep and wake up body tired, mind sharp. It's weird like that. You know what I mean. And my war brew might literally become what keeps my heart pumping because of the caffeine in it. Because I don't always use sugar. I don't always doctor it up. But yeah, all right. I'll make a special dispensation of Military Monday or something. And I'll use a Friday safety brief, I guess. I don't know. I'll do something. I'll do something. And I'll have my recipe typed up. And I'll have it as prettified as I can make it. Because if you're like my mum, your brain requires the average educator enforced grammatical structure of everything and not the data dump of streaming information that ensures you get the thing you need. Because some people just can't process. And I'm not dinging it. I'm not. But my mum cannot at all process any of my writing style because she gets so stuck on the punctuation instead of accepting it as a data dump action report, instead of accepting it as the answer that she asked for. She needs everything in bite-sized pieces in a way that I don't consider myself high-functioning anything really, actually, not everything, anything. I don't consider myself intelligent. I don't consider myself a lot of things. But it gives me a headache, a migraine even, if I have to match pure statistical average perfect English for someone to understand after I've been trying to meet their dialect the whole time they've been talking. It gives me a migraine to force my brain into that rigid structure. My words slow. If you've ever had, I want to call it cognitive dissonance. But if you've ever had where you have to change everything about your communication style in order to make a point, and it's not for a presentation up in front of a class, no. It's for someone who means a great deal to you that can kill you with a word. My dad, God bless him, he and I matched dialects, and not just for military service, but we matched in thought pattern and thinking method as well. So I could tell from a sigh if I disappointed. And I hated that sigh. I hated earning that sigh. Because he would never tell me that he was disappointed. But he could not withhold that sigh. He was the gentlest man in existence. He could lay you flat in a second. But outside of my brother, my uncle, and my other twerp of a brother, the gentlest can be the most dangerous, and they know it. They just choose not to radiate the danger. And I realize now this has gone on an inordinate amount of time, so I will cut it. Not even cutting it short anymore. But please, for the love of God, accept that you matter. Or accept that someone believes that you matter, because it's the whole fucking reason I'm doing this shit. I don't enjoy performing up in front of a crowd. I don't enjoy presenting in front of a crowd. Even if just for school and for grades and for training. I'll do the job that's needed. I'll do the mission. I'll be professional, but get me down from there. So that's why I'll never put my face on this thing. It's why I'll probably never show my skin on YouTube. I'll probably wear gloves or something and take my rings off. Just because I wear things a certain way. There's identifying factors, OPSEC. I'll keep at least one thing true between accounts because I need truth and honesty, but everything else is usually layered in OPSEC for reasons because it's what I grew up on. And if you need to OPSEC yourself into survival, fucking do it. Fucking do it, all right? OPSEC yourself into survival. Make yourself the asset to protect your dumb wop. And if that means keeping snacks in your trunk or freezer that you feel guilty about, cue the guilt, eat it anyway, deal with shite. Your body needs calories. Treat it like the machine it is, not the civilian people want you to be for their own comfort levels. Do not diminish yourself out of existence to be polite to the squishy type. For heaven's sake, those without honor will always hate those with honor on some level. Don't let their hate choose for you in feeling that life ain't worth living. I've damn near lost every true support I had for my life. But I have God. I have you. I have mission, and Lord above, I'll not fail it, no matter how awkward I feel at times. So I'll end it here, but by fucker, you live until next Monday. I will be very disappointed if you fall out of formation before it's even formed. Please live. All right. I fucking mean it, you matter. Stay alive.